man. Candace Owens versus Czech. Man, it's going to be a good one on Trump and more.
Bottom line is, Israel is starting a much larger regional war, and
Israel is starting on the 7th of October.
I guarantee you that Jonathan is going to come on here. You're not going to talk over me. I guarantee you, Jonathan comes on here and says, America must pay for it.
Now, y'all see where things is getting kind of crazy now. All right, let's go.
America must die for Israel. That's what he's going to say.
Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you. We just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. As I was saying,
the outcome of the US presidential election will have massive implications for America and for the world. The candidates could not be further divided on issues like immigration, the economy, and the role America should play in restoring peace. Make no mistake, this election is transformatively significant. It might be one of the most significant, in fact, in our lifetimes. But it's not existential. Kamala Harris is not an actual communist. Donald Trump is not an actual fascist. And no matter what happens in the next 4 months, a new president will be sworn into office in January next year. Just one day after a second attempt to assassinate Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton said this.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
Wow.
Well, that narrative is dubious, and the timing was appalling. The media can be accused of many ill deeds, but failing to have a consistent narrative about Donald Trump is not.
Come on now. Well, nobody's going that hard on Kamala on Trump's side, but for some reason, we can call this man the most evilest things in the world. But Kamala gets no smoke. And we're not really seeing, and for some reason, the Democrats don't see how this kind of contributes to him, almost getting shot, almost dying. I don't see how that kind of correlates there. But here's the thing, though. A lot of them don't care. They kind of want to see my man, off this earth. He is a husband, a father, a family man, but, they forget about that for some reason.
Not one of them. This montage has now been viewed more than 30 million times in the aftermath of the latest attempted shooting. Excuse the poor quality, but the point is obvious.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it's...
Black women, bro. Why? It always got to be them. It's always the bald-headed black woman, bro. The bald-headed black woman.
The streets for as long as there's
it's always the bald-headed black woman. Bald-headed liberal black woman, man. It's just the stereotype at this point. Bald-headed liberal black woman.
Rest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Black man. If she bald-headed, bro, you can't trust her.
Where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
That's a complete lie. The biggest, I remember in that little debate we showed last night, dude was trying to say, white supremacy is the biggest terrorist threat in America. I'm like, so what, the cartel disappeared, ISIS disappeared, and what, the KKK done rose 1 million in numbers or something? What are you talking about? That makes no sense. If you look at the FBI most wanted list, it's a bunch of, sorry to my Hispanics, but cartel members, Mexicans, Hispanics. There's probably one white man on there, but somehow they're the biggest threat. Okay.
Well, the full version goes on and on and on. Of course, it's not difficult to find examples of Donald Trump saying outrageous things too. But there's no real value in me highlighting them because they play on the biggest TV news shows all day, every day. You will have already seen them. Everybody has. And right now, it's Democrats pushing the narrative that Trump, and only Trump, is to blame for the simmering and in some cases exploding tensions in American politics. Those tensions have almost got him killed, not once, but twice in just 2 months. Surely enough is now enough. There are many unanswered questions about Donald Trump's security. There's a very live debate about who is to blame for this dangerously febrile atmosphere and what should be done about it. There are questions, too, about an all-out war in the Middle East after Israel seemingly ignored the United States to launch an audacious attack on Hezbollah. 12 people are dead, including a child. Almost 3,000 were injured after pagers used by Hezbollah were remotely detonated inside Lebanon.
They can remotely detonate pagers, bro. Like from the fucking sky. Dude walk around with a pager and now it just blows up in his pocket. I mean, the technological advance is pretty damn impressive, but man, for this reason is insane.
Now even more blasts are hitting Beirut, with reports of an explosion at a funeral and hundreds injured by exploding walkie-talkies. We'll discuss it all with tonight's panel. I'm joined by the host of the Candace Owens Show on Spotify and Rumble, Candace Owens, the founder and CEO of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, and former Navy SEAL, author and founder of military contractor Blackwater, Eric Prince. Well, welcome to all of you. Cenk Uygur, there's a lot going on. I mean, the news cycle right now feels slightly insane. You know, you've got Donald Trump nearly assassinated again, twice in 2 months now. You've got apparently Israel launching this extraordinary attack across the whole of Lebanon on thousands of Hezbollah terrorists and, of course, wounding and potentially killing as well civilians in the process. So there's a lot to unpack here. What do you make of it?
Okay, first of all, on Donald Trump, what do you want me to do? The guy did a coup attempt. He had fake electors.
Here we go.
Not even his own electors. You have your own slate of electors. He didn't use them because they said this is unconstitutional and illegal. You lost the election. And he said, all right, you can get in fake electors. Let's do a coup attempt here. Let's have them bum rush the Capitol. And then that'll create enough confusion that we can bring it back to the states and the Republicans will cheat for us. They even wrote it in a book. Then he said we should terminate the Constitution because he lost the election. So what do you want me to do, Piers? The guy hates democracy.
I mean, dog, can you like substantially prove this stuff? Like wrote a book, he said this, he said that. I mean, at this point, though, he's taken out of context so many times. I almost need video evidence like of the entire interview at this point.
He's a dictator wannabe.
And shout out Les Phillips, man. Cells and pagers blowing up. They messed up. They messed it up around and found they messed around and found out, man. Didn't they? Cell phone and pagers blowing up. They messed around and found out, man. Shout out Les Phillips. I ain't glad it made me laugh halfway through. That is crazy though. I'm like, bro, they're blowing them up from the sky. I'm like, I'm impressed, but I'm scared at the same time. I'm looking at my cell phone like, yeah, you know what? Let me not talk too crazy now. You know, let me not talk too crazy. Just side-eyeing my cell phone at the moment.
So, okay, should you shoot at him? Of course not. Any action that is physical like that or violent is a surrender in the intellectual field of debate and ideas. So it's a terrible idea. It's immoral, etc. But I'm not going to let up on Donald Trump for 1 second rhetorically because he is a monster. And he tried to terminate our Constitution. He tried to steal an election. I've never seen anyone so despicable in American politics.
Bro, what did this man personally do to you, bro? I'm almost thinking like, bro, what did he do, bro? Did Donald Trump like I don't know, like sleep with your wife or something? And you're ashamed to say it? Like, what's going on here, bro? Because I ain't gonna lie. I've seen his interviews before, like on Lex Friedman. He was spitting. He was saying some pretty civil things. But when he gets to Trump, he gets like emotionally unhinged. It's like, bro, what's going on here? You were like a logical man until we got to Trump.
And by the way, there's another reason why I'm angry at him, because I'm a populist, and he took populism and he perverted it to just turning into his own personal con. He's such a slimy con man. I loathe him. Everyone should vote against him. He's one of the worst people I have ever seen in politics, and I'm not going to let him terminate the Constitution or destroy this democracy.
You see, what I find extraordinary, Cenk, is you haven't...
I mean, what about like the dude who signed in the Federal Reserve that enslaved us? Like, what about that guy? He was pretty bad. Like, was it Woodrow Wilson? Like, what about that guy? I feel like he's one of the worst. Or, you know, Lyndon B. Johnson, you know, I feel like he's one of the worst. But hey, okay.
haven't even given it a beat since he nearly had his brains blown out on Sunday on a golf course, which came 2 months after...
Did he give a beat, Piers? Did he give a beat? Did he ever give a beat when he constantly talks about violence? Hey, if someone takes out somebody from with a stretcher, I'll pay the legal bills. Attack people. Oh, my political opponents, I'm going to jail them. I'm going to attack them.
Well, to be clear, hang on. To be clear, you're trying to equate him making a joke about maybe slapping or punching someone in a crowd who's abusing him. With someone,
can I make a joke about
someone taking an AK
Trump across the face?
Well, hang on, was somebody
can I make that joke?
Was somebody
can I make that joke, Pierce?
Well, hang on, somebody actually shooting him on a rally stage and then very nearly shooting him on a golf course with an AK-47. Do you not see the difference?
So, Piers, those are terrible actions. So what I'm asking you a literal question. What do you want me to just go?
Could you give it a beat?
Okay, now Donald Trump's a good. Hold on, let me finish the question.
On a human level,
Donald Trump's a good guy. Donald Trump loves democracy. Donald Trump's still the same monster he was yesterday.
Like, damn. Okay. I know you hate him, but do you need to dehumanize him? Like, even Pierce is kind of circling around to that point. Okay, I understand, but like, is he not human though? Like, can you humanize him a little bit? Like, because as much as you hate Trump, if you can't humanize him, then you kind of need to get help. Like, do you not see that he is a father? He is a husband. Like, he is a family man. Like, at the end of the day, he's human. Like, can we not humanize the man instead of trying to villainize him, demonize him, really? Make him some type of demonic entity that we just need to take out? Like, what's wrong with y'all?
So I hate that people are shooting at him. It's so dumb. It's immoral. It's wrong.
Why would you be surprised?
I can't condemn it any stronger.
Why would you be surprised?
I'm not going to tell you that Donald Trump is a decent man.
But Cenk, why would you be
grotesque human being?
Why would you be surprised that people are taking drastic action? Unhinged people with unhinged brains who are listening to constant rhetoric from people.
You didn't answer the question.
Well,
what do you want me to do? You want me to politically surrender, right?
I'm asking you a question. Do you not consider for a moment...
No, Cenk, we want you to be reasonable. We really just want you to be reasonable.
That within 48 hours, you're still saying monster, demagogue, dictator, blah, 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 blah,
that's
blah.
Because that's who he is.
Yes, but this is what is affecting...
So you want me to lie?
Yeah, because...
Here's, tell me this.
Because,
do you want me to lie?
Let me finish. The shooter at the golf course, specifically in his recent social media posts, parroted Kamala Harris, saying that he was effectively an existential threat to democracy in America. You're doing the same. Does nothing make you pause?
You're insane.
Hillary Clinton's doing the same.
Trump does it 2,000 times worse.
Because you think he does.
You're great.
I mean, like, I ain't gonna lie. I've been listening to these Trump rallies and Kamala rallies, and Trump, the worst thing he's called her was a communist. A communist. That's it. But he's a dictator, essayer. Like, bro, he's some egregious things in their rhetoric. But the worst Trump has honestly ever said about Kamala is Comrade Harris. And let's be real, that's funny. That's funny. Like, originally when he said Comrade Harris, I thought because she was plagiarizing policies. But hey, the joke kind of went over my head.
Democrats shouldn't campaign against your beloved Donald Trump because some moron, mentally unstable guy took a shot at him. Okay, or two of them did. You know what? I can protect Donald Trump. Ban assault weapons. That'll protect Donald Trump way more than any of, say nice things about him now that some lunatic took some shots at him. Here, let me be super clear. If you're on the left, I know the right-wingers love their guns and Second Amendment remedy, and they've been riled up to do violence nonstop. But if you're on the left and you do any violence, you are not one of us. You're a stupid person who does nothing but make a worthy cause look immoral with your insanity. Never do violence.
Yeah, but the problem is the person who shot at Trump was a, Biden supporter, Biden-Harris supporter. So as much as you want to disavow these people on the left who do violence, there is people on the left who commit violence. Like, let's be real.
Is that clear enough?
Or maybe when they...
Not saying there's not any on the right, but to say there's none on the left is crazy.
Constantly hear on the airwaves people like you and Hillary Clinton and others constantly depicting Trump as an existential threat to democracy in America.
Piers, you're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has done 2,000 times worse, and you know it. You won't even run it on this show.
Okay.
You won't even run it on this show because Donald Trump, what he says is so much worse than anything a Democrat has ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So that's it. Are you telling Donald Trump, you better shut up? You better not say any of those gross things that you always say. You know that he joked about ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So that's it. Are you telling Donald Trump, you better shut up?
You better not say any of those gross things that you always say. You know that he joked about smashing Nancy Pelosi's husband's head in with a hammer.
And the truth
One
is,
of his
Cenk,
lunatic fans tried to murder Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Wait, was it a Trump fan that tried to take out Nancy Pelosi's husband? Because well, now let's be real here. Can we all be real? We all know that Big Money Pelosi, that's what I like to call it. Big Money Pelosi, you know, the biggest scammer in history, to be honest with you. Like, you could finesse your entire career, make it past $10 million, and nobody catches you. And you're inside trading the whole time. You and your husband just inside trading. That's Big Money Pelosi. So I can kind of, now, I never condone violence. Nobody should have did this, but is it not within the realm of possibility that somebody found that out and didn't like it?
And he's like, it's so funny.
Here's
Do
the
you
problem.
know that when they tried to murder his vice president,
Here's the problem,
he then
Cenk.
turned around and said he deserved it.
Here's
he's
the
a
problem.
he's a psycho.
Here's
and you
the problem.
defend him every day, Piers.
Here's the problem. You have no idea what I've said about Trump when he's done these things. If you had, you wouldn't accuse me of not talking about them, because
So are
I
you telling
always
him
do.
to shut up?
Because I always do.
Are you telling him to shut up?
I want to bring in Candace Owens here. Candace, look, we're 48 hours after the latest assassination attempt, and I'm listening to another liberal who I respect, I've had Cenk on a lot on the show, absolutely losing his mind about how despicable Donald Trump is and what a threat he is and a danger and so on and so on. Exactly the kind of rhetoric that Trump has said he believes is fueling these people to try and kill him. What do you make of where we are with this?
What I make of all of this is that if you are going to legitimately tell people that someone is a monster, that somebody is a dictator, that somebody is literally Adolf Hitler, if you're going to tell people that this person is a constant threat, why wouldn't somebody try to eliminate that threat? That would actually be a sensible thing for somebody to do if they believe the rhetoric that is coming out of people's mouths. Now,
Then
if
all
this
of the
had
right
happened
wing
and
is
it was
guilty,
flipped,
including you, Candace.
Cenk, you just
You're all
spoke for a
guilty.
very long
You've
time.
done
Candace finish,
10,000
please.
times worse than you know.
Control yourself.
Cenk.
Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you, but you just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. You need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. As I was saying, if this...
Yo, hold on, bro. That was wild as hell to say to bro. It's like, if you need to sit on your hands, you should do that.
This had
Like,
happened and it was
guilty,
flipped.
including you, Candace.
Cenk, you just
You're all
spoke for a
guilty.
very long
You've
time.
done
Candace finish,
10,000
please.
times
You're
worse than
gonna
you
have to
know.
learn how to
Candace
control
speak.
yourself.
Cenk.
Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you, but you just had a very long time to speak and we were quiet. I promise you can do that. You need to sit on your hands, then you should do that. As I was saying, if this situation had been reversed and I had just watched somebody try to shoot Kamala Harris, I would be definitively saying how wrong it was. I would be saying to people that despite the fact that I do not want her to be president, of course, she is not so much of a threat that she needs to be shot. They don't stop this rhetoric because they do not want these assassination attempts to stop on Donald Trump. And I want to be very clear. The circumstance that we find ourselves in the West is one of remarkable privilege. And when you're in times of remarkable privilege, it creates actually an issue of having a lot of weak men, right? Weak men are the ones that are going out here claiming that Donald Trump is a threat, proclaiming that Donald Trump is somebody that is a dictator because they've never had real conflict in their lives. And you're about to see that example right now, the difference in the demeanor between someone like Cenk and Eric Prince, who I greatly respect, and who is somebody who has seen real conflict and understands what real threat is, right? He understands real threat. Cenk is somebody that grew up, obviously, with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's never had to fight for anything in his life and has never had to put his life before somebody else's. So it's very easy for him to behave like this, to demonstrate like a toddler who is throwing his toys out of the pram when he doesn't get what he wants. And so he heightens his rhetoric and says, why am I not getting what I want? This man's a dictator. This man's a threat. And he's not being realistic. And it's embarrassing to our country, whether it was a person on the right or the left.
You guys haven't addressed it at all.
Cenk, I promise you are capable of
He wants to
controlling
terminate the
yourself
Constitution,
for
so you
3
like that?
minutes as somebody else speaks.
Let me bring in Eric. Eric, you are a former Navy SEAL.
Bro is unhinged right now. I'm like, hey,
Cenk crashing out.
He crashing out right now. I just don't get it. I'm like, dog, like I've watched a lot of interviews from the man. He's low-key pretty civil. Like, he got some good policy. He's like
got some good takes.
Honestly. Yeah, he's like a 90s Democrat. But bro, when it comes to Trump, bro, I keep saying like, bro,
TDS.
Like, did he F your wife or something? G?
Man.
Like, bro, it just feels so personal.
Did somebody choose Trump over you, Cenk, or something?
Oh,
it gotta be something.
Like, what's going on here, bro?
And
a patient,
like, did Trump bully you
and
as
a
a
very
kid?
patient former Navy SEAL. Yes.
Fired him at one point or something.
When I look at what's happened here, there are lots of strands to what's going on, and we'll come to the security aspect around Trump, which I find pretty scary. Actually, that twice people have, with extraordinary ease, got into positions to assassinate him in the space of 8 weeks, which I just find quite remarkable and shocking and shameful, and a disgrace that the Secret Service has allowed that to happen. But before we get to that, this whole...
They saved his life.
Well, they didn't save his life. They put him in a position where his life nearly got taken. That's the truth. I mean, because they didn't even check
the guy
the
didn't even get off a shot.
They didn't even check.
Spreading conspiracy.
They didn't
have a good
even
night,
check
man.
the perimeter of
Take it
the
easy.
golf course before he was exposed for 4 hours on that course 8 weeks after he was shot. It is unbelievable
off a shot.
that anyone from
Thank
the
you,
Secret Service
for
would
protecting
claim
Donald Trump.
anything but a dismal failure of their preparation to protect the president, in my opinion. But we'll come to that. Eric, what do you make of this debate, which is raging right now in this debate now, about the rhetoric and the responsibility of people who are on the airwaves, who are in public life, to dial down the rhetoric?
look, like the video clip you opened with, there's an enormous amount of apocalyptic language spoken by the left. Call it saying he must be eliminated, he is Hitler, and that unleashes every left-wing crazy to authenticate themselves by saying, I'm going to be the hero. This guy, this...
Great point. Like, bro, think about it like this. If I keep telling you somebody's a dictator, you just want to feel like a hero. Oh, let me take out the dictator that's going to destroy democracy if he gets in. Think about it. When we say Kamala's going to get in, we damn near throwing our hands up to the economy like, all right, bro, we might be screwed on the economy and immigration. We ain't saying she's going to be a dictator now.
Right.
But when they say, oh, Trump gets in office, oh, bro, just throw away the whole country if Trump gets in office. Throw away the whole country. And I'm
he's
just
gonna
like,
be a dictator. He's going to be an autocrat. He's going to take everybody's freedoms. Like, whoa, where do we even get this from?
I'm sorry, but like, why so extreme?
You want to talk about divisive, dangerous rhetoric? Like I said, it comes from the left.
I'm like, can we please just bring him down to a man that you disagree with, in policies?
I don't like his policies, but at the end of the day, if he's in the country, we just gonna run with what we got. That's what Trump supporters are saying. If Kamala gets in,
yeah,
we got to run with what we got.
That's it.
But if Trump gets in, we're all fucked. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, bro, if Kamala gets in, I guess I'm just gonna have to look at these immigrants and be like, well, goddamn.
All right, goddamn. I guess we're gonna have to be. Our new neighbors are here.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Get the strap.
Ruth guy on
hide
Sunday,
your dogs, hide your cats.
who was there for 12 hours stalking Donald Trump.
Oh, kid, I joke.
With
I
a
joke.
high-powered rifle with a scope,
I just got in here.
with
Come on, I'm trying to
ballistic
catch
plates
up.
up against the fence. And what did he have up there? A GoPro. Why? He was trophy hunting. He wanted to be the savior of the left, to say, I'm the one that killed Donald J. Trump. Mm-hmm. Trophy hunting, saying, for people like you responding to words that you're putting out there. Why else would he have a GoPro?
No, he wanted to get famous. You're totally right about that, Eric. And I hate that. But the way that this whole thing has been framed, as if the right wing doesn't do rhetoric that is 10,000 times more dangerous and violent over and over again. Trump's fans sent pipe bombs to every one of his enemies. Trump fan hit Nancy Pelosi's husband in the head with a hammer.
Pipe bombs. I'm like, bro, can you prove this, please? I mean, like, dog, what? Everybody's face is just like, every time he told, everybody's face is like, dog, I have never heard
everybody
this.
does kind of have that taken back look. Like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, like, bro,
can we verify that?
Like, can we fact check that, please, bro? They're sending okay, Key, I guess we're sending pipe bombs to niggas, man.
Well, we did talk about the pages the other day.
Yeah, man, them pages wild. I talked about that on stream. Everybody just side eye your phone. If you talking crazy on the internet, you might want to scoot that mother to the side.
You feel that motherfucker was warming up real quick,
bro? Yeah, if you're a whistleblower, you might as well just throw your phone away real quick, G.
Oh God.
Trump never even denounced it. How sick is that? That he never even denounced it. He laughs about it. So if we were using the Trump standard, we'd laugh about him getting shot at. But I'm not as disgusting as.
I'm sorry, but we gotta take that back just a little bit, like.
To every one of his enemies. Trump fan hit Nancy Pelosi's husband in the head with a hammer, and Trump never even denounced it. How sick is that? That he never even denounced it. He laughs about it. So if we were using the Trump standard, we'd laugh about him getting shot at. But I'm not as disgusting as Donald Trump is.
I mean,
Nancy Pelosi's husband had an interlude with some bizarre gay lover.
Yeah, when he showed up at his house.
Oh,
you know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that storyline.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. I thought it was different. Oh really?
Oh, everybody was quick to forget that. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's husband had a gay lover, quote unquote, who showed up at their home, broke in, butt ass naked.
Really?
Yep.
He wasn't on the right.
Oh my God, I'm on here with lunatics. I'm on here with lunatics and conspiracy theorists. I can't believe he just said that. And you're saying that the guy who smashed Paul Pelosi's head in wasn't on the right? Is that what Candace Owens, the lunatic, just said?
Okay, just so you know, if you're going to call somebody else a lunatic, you shouldn't be behaving like one in the process.
When you say, Cenk, when you say these right-wingers are all nuts, do you understand the irony, given you just spent the last 10 minutes literally ranting?
Bro.
Yeah, I do, Piers.
Yeah.
So I am loud and aggressive because that's what the Democrats and the left wing need to stand up to lunatic bullies like this. Candace Owens just said that the attacker of Paul Pelosi was not a right winger when he is a Donald Trump fan and a deep right winger. And Eric Prince, the lunatic, had said that he was a gay lover of Paul Pelosi. A conspiracy theory so unhinged.
I mean, the dude did found BlackRock and all that good stuff, a military corporation. So I don't know. Maybe he would have some intel, low key. Like, come on now. We did used to hire him for military work, so
maybe you know something we don't.
Yeah,
extra level of security clearance.
And let's be real though, he's had protection for some of the highest political officials. So maybe somebody said, "Bro, come on now, that was Trump's word. That was his gay lover." Like, yo.
Oh yeah, he's got clearance.
He got clearance.
That how am I supposed to respond to it? You can't have a rational discussion with people who don't believe in facts and logic. Piers, are you agreeing with these two lunatics that he was not a right winger?
You should have a little
bit
more
he was some
respect
sort of gay lover of Paul Pelosi?
Eric Prince as a lunatic. He served our country. You should have a little more respect and decency.
Yeah, no, he's a mercenary and a disgusting guy, by the way. How many people did you get killed? Innocent people in Iraq, Eric.
Damn.
How many people did you have mowed down in Iraq, Eric?
Whoa! You know, going back to your topic, Pierce.
He just completely ignored
perhaps
that
it's time to bring back 19th century behavior.
Because I'm gonna be real with you, if he'd have been in front of that man's face and said that,
yeah, that's the type of shit you might have to square up for.
Yeah, dog. It's
you can't talk to a vet like that, low key.
Like, dog, he was given an order, dog. Like, why don't you blame the government he did that under?
Are you talking about my fallen comrades, dog?
Like, are you serious?
Like, nah. Cenk, I'm
Which
normally
maybe
with you,
we had a more civil society then. If people are going to throw all kinds of bombastic language, they do so because they do it without consequence. In the 19th century in the UK, people would call them out for a duel. Doesn't have to be to the death. Could be swords. It could be bugle sticks.
Could duke it out.
Maybe that would make for a more polite society. I don't know. I'm ready to go there.
You see that?
My nigga. Hey, that's a real man. He pretty much just said, you know what? Back in the day, bro, we used to challenge people to duels. And you know what? I think I'm ready to go there again. Like, he pretty much just said, check. I challenge you to a duel, bro. Put your hands up.
What did the kids say? Square up.
Yeah. Like, square the F up, bro. Ain't no way you just said that. Like, square up, Jake.
You see that? Who's the first to threaten violence?
What?
Whoa. Right no. We can't sit here and play like there's not a thing called fighting words, though.
Come on now, dog.
Like, you didn't initiate the drama. If you didn't initiate the conflict just by saying what you just said.
Bro,
like,
you brought up a situation where, one, they did a mission that's low-key, some of them do regret, and that he lost, like, personnel over comrades.
Bro,
we're fighting.
The only response a man could give is like, you know what? Square up.
Yeah, it's
square up, bro.
And he's pretty damn civil. He didn't get loud or nothing. He just said,
back in the day, bro, used to be a duel, maybe swords. Nowadays, bro, square up.
Square up. Come
square
on.
Up, bro.
Pull up, Cenk.
Denounce violence. I denounce it strongly and loudly. And you heard it with your own ears.
But Cenk, what I don't think you appreciate is how ranting, incendiary rhetoric of the kind you've unleashed so far in this debate yourself with an impressionable, unhinged person who believes everything you're saying about Trump. As Candace said, why wouldn't that person think to themselves, yeah, we got to get rid of him. We got to stop him.
Okay.
So my question for you is, if you can't even dial it down within 48 hours of a second assassination attempt on Trump's life, when can you?
So, Piers, now let's have an intelligent conversation. Hold on. About where are the lines? Where are the lines? So, he asked me a question. Where are the lines? So, when you say, when Trump says these incendiary things that are encourage violence, including laughing at smashing the head in of a political opponent's husband, that's what? Is that fine? Or he's bad too?
Well,
How long does he have to pause saying violent things?
Listen, I've criticised Trump for lots of his incendiary language over the years. But as far as I...
So how long should he stop?
Hang on. So far as I know, he's never called one of his opponents Adolf Hitler. And yet the left constantly...
Yeah, he did.
Constantly...
He just called, I don't know about Hitler, but first of all... But Piers, you make it look like...
Cenk, here's my point. If the left constantly say, as they do, he's the new Hitler, who, by the way, murdered 12 million people with his Nazis, including 6 million Jews and all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can you compare Trump to Hitler when I'm be real with you? Like, well, Trump never bodied nobody for real. If you want to be honest, like, who did Trump body? Like, let's be real. Like, I don't know 6 million people that, you know, Trump took out. Do you?
Oh, he's talking about the infamous German with the mustache comparison?
Yeah, it's like... It's wild.
It's completely taken out of context and
bro,
kind of said without really much facts to back it.
Yeah, bro. Liberals have the grossest comparisons, bro. I remember they said, "Oh, his economy was worse than the Great Depression." I'm like, dog, if that was the truth, we'd have been homeless.
Well, if they're calling him, if they're comparing him to the infamous German with the mustache, can we pair Kamala to the infamous Russian with the mustache? Mr. Communist Manifesto?
Ooh, shit. Yeah, maybe.
Ooh. Holocaust. If you keep saying that often enough, as the left do in America, eventually an unhinged mind is going to think, I've got to stop the new Hitler. That's my point.
So first of all, I've never called him Hitler, but I love Sandra Day O'Connor's quote about, it was about Bush and Cheney at the time, about fascism. She said, we've got to be careful of these beginnings so that we don't get those endings. So what I'm worried about is a guy who says that he loves dictators and writes love letters to them, and that he loves it when everybody has to stand up and applaud and no one can disagree with the leader of the country. He loves it. He thought we should terminate the Constitution. When they said to him, hey, they're trying to murder, your fans are trying to murder your own vice president, he told Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, he deserves it. I have to tell people the reality about Donald Trump. So, Piers, what do you want me to do?
That
take a 48-hour break, a 72-hour break, or maybe do you want me to take a month and a half of a break of criticizing Donald Trump?
Well, you know,
so
it was interesting.
I mean, you know, maybe it might help you. It might help you. Maybe just a month of just not talking about this man badly. It might just fix your mental state about him.
It was interesting watching CNN yesterday,
bro.
my network, for example, where CNN finally conceded on air that actually when Kamala Harris repeated this trope about Trump, that he called for they said there would be a bloodbath if he lost the election. Everyone knows that's untrue. That's not what he said. He talked about a bloodbath in the automobile industry.
Yes, he did.
CNN finally admitted that on air, but Kamala Harris repeated that in a way that implied he said there would be a literal bloodbath. So when it comes to rhetoric, yes, Donald Trump has a lot of incendiary things that come out of his mouth. I wish he didn't. But so does the left, Cenk. And your utter refusal to accept that anyone on the left can be even remotely responsible for creating an atmosphere where two people now try to kill Trump, I think is very disingenuous.
No, Piers, let me be clear. So number one, on the bloodbath comment, on the day of and ever since, we played the whole clip on the Young Turks and told everybody he did not mean violence. He talked about an economic bloodbath.
So why did Kamala Harris pretend that he did?
Honest about it. We've never called him Hitler. And so,
yes, okay, we understand, Cenk, but why wasn't, you know, Kamala Harris, who's part of your party, why wasn't she honest about that?
Piers, I can't sit here and not tell you that he didn't try to end our democracy, because he did. So I'm asking you now for like the fourth time. What do you want me to do?
I'm going to get the other two to respond to this, but just want to bring in just very quickly the Republican Congressman Corey Mills. Corey Mills, thank you very much indeed for joining me. We're having a very
Thanks so much for having me.
We're having a very heated debate, ironically, about the heated debate raging around America, which may or may not have played a part in these two assassination attempts. There's an irony there.
Well, there's not an irony. I've been listening to the complete instability, and I'll remind Cenk and others that we should go back to Henry II, who actually sat with his knights and said, is there no one who can rid me of this meddlesome priest? His knights took that rhetoric to mean that they should go and murder the Archbishop of Canterbury thereby actually resulting in an assassination of an individual. So I think that Eric is correct and Candace is correct that Cenk should just probably sit on his hands for a moment and just listen to what hate and vitriol he is spewing and why things have continued to ratchet up. I think that we all need to look at political violence and a condemnation and also take a response to say that this isn't something that we want to continue by taking down the pressure and the heat which is boiling within America and start looking at things with understanding that civil discourse is acceptable, that political discourse is acceptable, but ratcheting up to violence and this type of rhetorical, type of threats is just not to be accepted here in America.
Yeah, I completely agree. And on this separate issue of Trump security, I was staggered to see the acting director of the Secret Service, who's replaced the one who resigned after the rally shooting, basically doing a kind of victory lap on television, where he claimed everything they had done was fantastic. It all worked perfectly because one of his agents spotted the barrel of a rifle poking out of a bush and fired in that direction. Didn't hit the shooter, but scared him away. But I'm sorry, why was no one from the Secret Service thinking it would be a good idea to even check the perimeter of the golf course, given that people know where Trump plays?
Well,
They knew he was in Florida. They knew he was likely to be playing golf at that course. And the guy went and positioned himself for 12
hours. We need to get rid of the upper brass of the Secret Service. Apparently somebody up there don't want Trump to have that protection.
It kind of irritated me how they said, oh, well, he was playing golf. It was such an open area. I'm just like, bro, y'all job is to literally protect this man. And you would think after the assassination attempt a couple months ago, there would have been a heightened sense of security around protecting Trump. They should have fired everybody who was there that day and low-key got some big dogs in there.
Nah, for real. I'm going to be real with you. They just need to fire it all. Because, like, who is, like, pretty much putting out these orders? Because it just can't be Secret Service. It can't be the men on the ground. It got to be somebody above them who's writing out these strategies and stuff.
It wasn't a little weird how it was reported that Trump actually made that plan to go golfing last minute?
Yeah, it's true.
They said the shooter was camped out up to 12 hours, but Trump, I mean, he made the call on a whim. I feel like going golfing. Let's go.
You know, it's crazy. We still ain't get that man's cell phone records, really. Like, we tracked his cell phone, but we don't got the records.
Hours, right where the media go to get a clean photographic shot of Trump. I mean, it just almost, it's beyond parody, this.
Beyond parody.
Well, Pierce, if I could just go ahead and say that this is the second time that a perimeter and security bubble failure has existed. You look at the 150-yard shot by Thomas Crooks. You now look at this attempted plot to assassinate the president within 500 yards. This is why I've argued for a long time that there's three critical failures within the U.S. Secret Service, and it has nothing to do with funding. This has to do with the fact that, one, we have prioritized DEI over meritocracy, and two, the ability to conduct an actual threat assessment on a principle that...
Man, and shout out, man, Danielle Castro. Appreciate you, big dog. $2 super chat. Look no further than the promotions of the SS.
Let's get that man a Don DeMarco.
Oh, man.
Appreciate the support.
Appreciate you, man.
Being the former President Donald Trump, and then looking at your threat mitigation strategy should not be dictated and determined by the title or the position you carry, but by the actual threat itself and what assets and resources are required to mitigate that threat. So the reality is while they're touting that this is a great success, as Eric can tell you, and look, I'm a United States Army combat veteran. I'd served in the 82nd. I've worked overseas on different protection details. I can tell you that the best way to mitigate a threat is to forecast it to prevent it from occurring in the first place, not to play reactionary. And so extending out a perimeter bubble, guaranteeing the threat assessment and matrix of security mitigation and guaranteeing asset resources should be the first priority. But we have poor leadership in the Secret Service. We have DEI prioritization, and we have a failed strategy on how we actually allocate assets.
I mean, I've known Trump nearly 20 years as a friend, and I am genuinely concerned about his safety. I genuinely fear that between now and the election,
I mean, because how many times
someone could get successful.
We actually get him.
That these assassination attempts are coming.
Trump is only human. Like, I mean, we joke around. He's everywhere at once. This man never sleeps. He's doing a rally. He's doing an interview. He's doing a sit down. But he's only human. If they keep coming for this man's life, the Secret Service has proven to be negligent. Has proven to be incompetent at this point. How many attempts can they make before they actually damage this man?
Honestly,
I ain't talking about a earshot.
Honestly, as many as they want. But to be real with you here, I think they're going to stop using guns and they're going to start using, explosives now. Yeah,
Yeesh.
so when, Trump's car explode out of nowhere and there's no trace and sign of it, and, all of a sudden we got news that they're able to explode pagers remotely, well, I think hopefully it adds up a little bit for you.
You think maybe they released that
alarming
story prematurely, just so when it potentially happens,
yeah,
they kind of left the trace. They kind of
and they can say Iran did it. Oh shit, because it is.
Hey, bro,
Iran.
you know, I am a self-admitted conspiracy theorist. So I'm just throwing this out there. Pure speculation.
They might blow a secret agent's car. A Secret Service agent car. Phone up. They could blow their phone up. They could blow Trump's phone up, and all say it was Iran.
Bro, anybody who's in the car with him is just collateral damage. They don't give a damn about them. It was all for Trump.
Okay.
Clarity. Two in 8 weeks. I mean,
wild
it's crazy.
speculation. Just saying.
I'm just talking shit now.
Well, that's exactly right. Not to mention the fact that you can't go ahead and assess the threat under President Trump to that of, say, a former president like Bill Clinton or Jimmy Carter. We have to look at the fact that President Trump is not only one of the most loved individuals, but he's also one of the most hated, and not just by the threats we've seen domestically, but that of the fatwa, which was declared by Iran after the successful counterterrorism strike by Qasem Soleimani and also Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes. The fact that he was successful in the elimination of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS or Daesh. And so we have to start looking at the fact that while they can continue to try and claim that the incident that resulted on J6 was an
Man, shout out to AR for the $2 super chat. 6ix9ine has better security than the Secret Service? Nah, I ain't gonna lie though.
That's funny.
Bro, some of these streamers got better security at this point.
In fact, Neon got better security than this nigga Trump apparently.
Man.
incitement of violence through dangerous rhetoric. Why can't we assume
Jack Doherty,
that the incitement of violence?
And appreciate you, man. That was the first super chat on live stream.
We appreciate that honor, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you giving us that honor.
That resulted in the attempted assassination on January 13th or recently isn't of the same caliber, and why can't we treat it the same? And so, look, I've had multiple discussions with Eric. Eric's a longtime friend. He's a patriot, former Navy SEAL combat veteran. The things that Cenk was saying about him couldn't be further from the truth, because I think Eric's one of the best. But I'll tell you, I think at this point, until we can get new leadership in the Secret Service, we actually need to be thinking about private security on the internal bubble of the president, utilizing former soft guys and pushing out the Secret Service assets in the bubble to do clearance and prevent this type of incident from happening in the future.
A congressman, Republican congressman,
thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Shared the same thoughts. We sound dumb by saying these streamers got better security, but a Republican congressman just said, yeah, maybe he needs privatized security instead of these Secret Service members who are clearly incompetent. But we sound dumb saying, nah,
well,
some of these influencers and entertainers got better security.
I wouldn't even say they're incompetent. Like I said, I think it's just somewhere in the Secret Service upper brass that's just leaving it open.
Yeah, they're leaving the hole open.
Yeah, and they're going ahead and reporting it to whoever, and there you go.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I know, right? I wouldn't even say incompetent.
Scary thought.
Because at these points, bro, the people on the ground be shocked. Like, bro, what the fuck? How?
And like I said, man, regardless of how you feel about Trump, you can love him, you can hate him, but an attack on a presidential candidate is an attack on democracy. I'm going to keep saying it because it clearly just shows that we are living in a day and age in America where we can't have a fair electoral process if they're trying to take out one of the only two candidates we have. It's crazy. I'm not for Kamala getting shot at.
Man, me neither.
I don't know, bro. It's indicative of the state of the country.
Yeah, and it just shows you how much hate the left got for Trump.
Thank you, Pierce.
Let me bring back the panel. Candace, I do genuinely feel very apprehensive about what is happening and what may happen. And I dread to think what would happen in America if somebody did actually assassinate Donald Trump, as they are repeatedly trying to do.
Yes, I mean, I was completely underwhelmed by the immediate reactions, even from Kamala Harris, just that simple tweet, and violence has no place, which felt like it was copy and pasted from a PR firm. There was no shock. There was no, this is absolutely wrong. There was no expressment of true frustration and disappointment, or even the recognition that could be her. right? Like if you're trying to be a person that wants to be the president of the United States, this could potentially be you one day. So you should be outraged. I didn't sense that outrage from her. And rather what you have correctly attest to is they just kept going on with the rhetoric the very next day, which to me is signaling to their followers that this is okay. We're getting closer and we're getting closer and we are fine with this. We're not going to turn down the rhetoric because you guys are responding correctly. One of the things that's really frustrating, I think, for a lot of people is to watch the way the media is constantly allowed to detach themselves from the consequences of what they say, which is to say that somebody shoots up and tries to shoot a president and the media is like, well, I was just calling him Hitler, but I never said to anyone that they should go shoot someone. And like I said earlier, what do you expect an individual to do when you are saying Adolf Hitler is taking the stage? When you are saying that we are going to completely lose.
And let's be real, like, bro, there's over 40 assassination attempts on Hitler.
They want to talk about incendiary, violent, aggressive rhetoric. Bro, the left spews it all day. That's why I said, you don't think that shit radicalized some of these people? You don't think that shit kind of got in the head behind a Matthew? I can't remember the guy from the other day. What's his name?
Ryan Roth.
You don't think this kind of got in the heads of these people, maybe radicalized them, influenced them to go make that step, take that attempt on his life?
Yeah.
Come on now. You guys want to say that, oh, the right has divisive rhetoric. Bro, ain't nobody saying anything that would incite anybody to go do that.
Here's the crazy part. So it was pretty much this guy was pro-Ukraine. He was all about Ukraine.
Yep.
And it was Trump doing who pretty much says that, when they asked him, do you want Ukraine to win? He said, no, I just want the war to stop. And I guess bro didn't like that answer because he's so pro-Ukraine. And let's be real, left set him up for that question. The left media insulted him and ran with that ideology that, he wants Putin to win. So this radicalized guy who's already, I ain't gonna lie, extremely pro-Ukraine, now thinks like, I gotta take this man out for Ukraine.
Didn't that man post a tweet that said Iran should take out Trump and himself?
Yep, for voting for Trump. The self-loathing.
Oh, that man was crazy. That man was crazy.
Democracy, which is so far from reality. It's embarrassing for Cenk to say that because we don't have to imagine Trump as president.
Man, check emo water buffalo. Cenk emo water buffalo. I'm weak as well. Drowning in the scenery, bro.
I'm weak.
Oh boy.
Appreciate that super chat, bro.
Water buffalo.
Already was for 4 years. People were living very well. The economy was doing very well. And so this rhetoric may have made sense in 2016. It doesn't make sense now in 2024. And so it's frustrating to see that. And I think what is good, though, is to allow people around the world to get this insight into what's happening in America, because you hear the left constantly purporting to be the side of peace. Right. And then you watch someone like Cenk. Right. And then you listen to people that are